You're listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show, where wealth is empowering, purpose is crucial, and high vibes are non-negotiable. And now, here's your host, certified business coach and practical woo strategist, Sarah J. Loureiro.
Hey Biz Babe, do you feel like you have a beautiful, big vision for your business yet are struggling to bring in consistent clients? If so, I totally know how you feel and I've got you. I used to struggle with getting and booking consistent clients when I first started my first business 4 years ago. But after implementing this amazing 6-pillar system that I've figured out for myself, I was able to get fully booked literally within a matter of weeks. If you want the same system, I'm actually giving it away for free in my fully booked in 30 days checklist for coaches and creatives. So you can find that on bit.ly/fully booked in 30. That's capital F, capital B, fully booked in 30. Check it out. I promise you that it is going to help you so much. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show with me, certified business coach Sarah J. Loureiro. Yes, this episode is about entrepreneurship within the age of entitlement. I'm really excited to be able to talk about this today, especially because I've had a few clients who've been dealing with issues from other people, and I've had business friends who've been dealing with issues from other people, and I think it's really important that we start this conversation, especially because this isn't just like a millennial thing. And I know that our society loves to beat on millennials, and I get quite annoyed with that. But I think that what's happening here and what continues to happen here is part of a much bigger script in terms of instant gratification, and like just truly believing that everything needs to be handed to us, which is why so many people become unsuccessful within online business. So if you are watching this right now and you are one of those entrepreneurs who is kind of like giving it all you've got, being really responsible with everything that you're doing, hands up for you, like big thumbs up for you, because you are probably doing an amazing, amazing job. And if you are an entrepreneur out there who is doing all they can, doing an amazing job, and you are coming into relationships and with clients who might not want to pay you, or, you know, like get really nasty with you, or community members that really get nasty with you and attack your character, this is also an episode for you, because I'm going to kind of talk about how to navigate this entitlement issue that seems to be happening. I mean, not only within entrepreneurship, this is just one area that this kind of comes into place, but really how to rise above it and how to, you know, be one of those people who really stands out because of the fact that you're actually putting in that responsibility and putting in the work that is required for you to bring that big vision to life. And so what do I mean when I talk about entitlement? Well, there's a few different types of entitlement that I really want to focus on in this episode, because they come out in terms of entrepreneurship and managing business in very different ways. So the first type of entitlement that I want to talk about is the idea that things need to happen super, super quickly. And that because of the fact that we start businesses, everyone else owes us something, right? Like our communities owe us something. We created a system and we implemented the system, and so the people who are following us in our community, they owe us, right? They owe me. I paid for 8 Facebook ads. This person owes me to sign up with me. That's entitlement, right? That's believing that because of the fact that you did something, therefore you have the expectation, not just the expectation, but almost this feeling of, if this doesn't happen, it needs to be someone's fault. if this doesn't work for me, it needs to be someone's fault, and it definitely can't be my fault. It needs to be someone else's fault. And so this is one of the first areas of entitlement that I feel like pretty much all of us cross into in entrepreneurship, because we really, really want things to work, and we've been doing all of the things that we need to be doing. And in a world of instant gratification, in a world where we can just like literally download apps within a click of our fingers, or we can sign up for courses super easily, and when everything, like we order something online and it comes free shipping within 2 days, we are so automated now into thinking that everything needs to come to us as quickly as it can and as quickly as we want it to. And that's because the internet has made that widely available for us, especially in terms of consumerism, in terms of like shopping within a click of a button. This becomes really dangerous for entrepreneurship, because here's the thing: no one owes us anything at all at any single point in time. No one. In fact, not even the universe. So I've seen people, like get really, really mad at the universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in when you don't see those immediate results. And the more that we place blame on everything else, the less we're going to be able to see the opportunities right in front of us for us to pivot into a place of inspiration again, for us to pivot into a place of belief again, and for us to really start continuing on the path that we were on, where things were working. They just weren't working within the time frame that we wanted it to be working in. And so that's one of the first pieces of entitlement. That's pretty normal. So if you are experiencing that, and if you have experienced that in the past, that doesn't make you a bad person. It's just what you want to do in those scenarios is really look back and be grateful for everything that has happened to you thus far, and realize that everything is not happening to you, but is happening for you. Okay, maybe you did not sign on those 2 clients last month because the universe or God knew that this month your mom was really going to need you, or that another really amazing opportunity was going to come to you. But if you had signed on those 2 clients, that amazing opportunity couldn't have come to you at this specific time. So the more that we focus ourselves in that belief, and the more that we continue to be doing all the things that we need to be doing and really showing up for our communities, the easier that is going to get, and the less entitled we're going to feel. And rather, the more grateful that you feel for everything that has happened for you, the more that you'll be able to expand into gratitude and abundance, and like attracts like. So always remember that. If you want to attract abundance, entitlement's going to attract entitlement, right? Thinking that things are not working is going to attract more thoughts in terms of things not working, is going to inspire you to take action in terms of things are not working. Now, here's where this can potentially go south really, really quickly. There's a very big difference between feeling entitled because you haven't gotten your results fast enough, or because you implemented something and it didn't work, and the need to constantly play the victim, and the need to constantly feel and react to your world based on things not working, and based on the world is doing things to me, I am not doing things to the world. Now, this is extremely dangerous thinking. And as coaches, I know that a lot of women who listen to this podcast are coaches, or they have been coached by someone before. You know that one of the most fundamental principles of coaching is, 1, no one is flawed. Right? Like, no one has this crazy flaw to them where they can't pick up their lives and start over. But 2, we are always responsible for our own actions, and things do not happen to us, things happen for us. And the quickest way back into empowerment, and the quickest way back into a place where you can feel inspired and successful, is by not playing that victim game anymore. Unfortunately, though, there are a lot of people in this world that will always be playing the victim. will always think that it's someone else's fault that they are in the situation that they are in. And their minds literally function on the fact that if they don't get what they want, it needs to be someone else's fault because they need to be the victim and they need to attack that person who they believe is making them feel like the victim, because nothing is ever their fault. And there are varying degrees of this, but it's basically not accepting personal responsibility and really that belief that everything needs to be handed to them on a silver platter, or that things need to be done the way that they want them to be done in their minds. And as female entrepreneurs, especially, women who are so used to needing to play the nice girl and needing to be the good girl, because that's what we're all taught and raised to be, right? We're raised to not want to engage in conflict with anyone. We are raised to be really quiet, really subtle, like not ruffle any feathers. People in this victim mindset tend to take advantage of that because they know that they can. Now, nothing is black and white. I really and truly believe that. I'm a huge believer in an entire gray system. So I wanted to share with you how this usually plays out, and especially with some of my clients, how it plays out in terms of our perceptions in our businesses and in our minds of what we owe to other people. And so here's the truth. Successful people and successful business owners and people who are going to become successful business owners always understand that there's a huge part of personal responsibility and financial responsibility, especially as a business owner, that we need to maintain, something that we need to keep up. And by having that mentality, we usually believe that everyone else has the same mentality as us, right? It's very common to perceive that everyone feels the same way as we do, when in fact the very opposite is true. And so other people who have this victim mindset and this victim mentality tend to interact with businesses, with people who are really responsible, and it can go a little something like this. Let's say, for example, they signed a payment plan for a coaching package or for a web design package, and then all of a sudden they want to sever their payment plan halfway through, and they email you and they give you this entire story about how they're so sorry, but they're so tight on money. Meanwhile, they're about to book their next vacation to France. And so in your mind, you think, oh my goodness, struggling out of money, this means that this person can't afford anything. They're on the brink of just collapsing. They can't even afford their rent. Whereas for the person who has this victim mentality, it literally means I just don't want to pay you anymore because my priority is going on this trip to France and, getting a brand new purse so that I can do that. And the ultimate goal of someone with the victim mentality is for you to feel more sorry for them, for you to understand that nothing is their fault and the world is just so against them. Yet, at the same time, then you are stuck in this situation where you had someone who agreed to pay you for a specific period of time, yet now they're not paying you anymore. And a cell phone company, if you go into a cell phone store and you purchase a cell phone and you purchase it on a payment plan, you purchase it at a lower cost on a payment plan rather than if you were purchasing it month to month because you get a discount. But that's provided that you do the entire payment, right? That's why payment plans exist. That's why agreements exist. That's why contracts exist. And it's not fair for your other clients if this one client just decides that they want to go south because of the fact that they have refused to claim personal responsibility over their finances and ultimately over their life. And then you, as a business owner, feel like you have just been placed in a moral and ethical dilemma because here is this person telling you to feel sorry for them, but at the same time, you have a business run and you want to be taken seriously, right? You gave away that spot and now you didn't take on another web design client because that person had taken that one spot that you could have filled with someone else. And here's the thing that I tell all of my clients, because at some point in time in your business, when you are up leveling and when you are experiencing success, at some point in time in your business, you are going to come across one of these people and you are going to be placed in this quote unquote moral and ethical dilemma. And what I usually tell my clients is, you are not here to enable anyone else's lack of responsibility, one. And two, if you don't treat your business like a business, no one else will. And this is really hard to do at first. This is really, really hard to do, especially because the majority of the women who I work with are very heart-centered. We are feelers. We actually really care for other people. But if we have these situations come up, we get treated like doormats. And I'm sure that if you have a business and you have been signing on consistent clients, you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. And we need to start treating our businesses like legitimate businesses, like the cell phone company, where if you break a contract, you pay a fee. The same goes in terms of people wanting free things from you. So this is another level of this. This is especially when you're first starting out and you're offering some free advice, you're offering some free calls, or you're just trying to get your foot into the door. And a lot of people can take advantage of that very quickly because, once again, it's the age of entitlement. It's the age of, oh, you're giving away information for free. Well, you need to tell me this 5-step process. You need to tell me exactly how you do your business. You need to tell me exactly what I need to do to lose weight. And if you don't tell me that, you're a bad person. And so then we go back into this shrinking mode. We go back into this, I need to help everyone. If I am not being nice to people, if I'm not allowing them to cancel their payment plans, if I am not giving them all the information that they need, I'm not a nice person. But guess what? You are not just a person here. You are running a business. And you're not just running a business. The women who I usually work with are running businesses with big visions and big impact, where they want to empower other women, empower other people. So let me ask you this. How are you empowering someone if you don't allow them to take full responsibility for their actions? And if you continuously enable other people's lack of financial responsibility or lack of personal responsibility, are you actually helping them? Because that girl who canceled her payment plan for her 4-month program from working with you, who is now on her way to her really nice trip in France and who just bought a new bag, she's not learning anything if you just let her go. And your business is also suffering. So you're essentially taking a hit for someone else's lack of responsibility. And it's the same thing with people who come to you who want free information. They could Google free information. If they really want to change and if they really, really want to take the next steps, they're probably going to need help with implementation. And so by you giving them all of your free information, spending all of your time helping that one person, how much do you think that they're actually going to go implement everything that you said and change their life from it? My guess is probably not at all. And so here's the thing. We are in this space right now in terms of female entrepreneurship where there are a lot of really amazing, bright, intelligent women who are either just starting their businesses or growing their businesses that totally understand these responsibilities, but we still haven't fully put ourselves into that leadership role that is needed for other people to take us seriously. And not being the nice girl, not playing the nice girl card, ruffles a lot of feathers. A lot of people do not like it when they do not get their way. If you tell someone that you are not going to be giving them all the free information that they want from you, they might lash out on you. They might attack your character because they are the victim and they need to get everything that they want. And if they don't, it needs to be someone else's fault. If you challenge your client who does not want to pay you, that they need to pay you because they signed a legally binding contract, they're probably going to lash out on you. They're probably going to blame it on you. They're probably going to attack your character because they refuse to take personal responsibility. And that kind of stuff isn't fun. It sucks, right? Like that whole image that you now have of being this cruel business owner because someone else told you that you were, that sucks. No one wants to feel that way, right? But you only truly rise into your leadership once you are able to create these boundaries for yourself and no longer enable other people's BS. So how exactly do you do this? How exactly do you rise above? How can you navigate all of these issues? So with the people who want the free information, simply stop giving people free information if you don't want to give it to them on a one-on-one basis. Tell them that you have a community that you can give them that free information with. Tell them that you could gladly get on a sales call with them if they want to talk more about working with you. You are under no obligation to anyone at any point in time. In fact, even if you're on a sales call and if you are feeling like there's some weird energy on your sales call, you have the right at any point in time to hang up that call. You're under no obligation to respond to people's messages, right? So that's the first piece. So with people who want free information, or if you know that people are kind of just haggling you, give yourself permission, put down those boundaries. No one's going to value you and your business unless you value you and your business. And for the unpaid contracts and for the lack of financial responsibility and for those specific things, and let's say, for example, you've already done half of the person's website and all of a sudden they're saying right now that they don't want to pay you for the other half, but you just completed half of the project. Make sure that you have very, very clear and detailed contents in your client agreements and in your contracts. And if you don't have a contract for your business, I highly suggest that you have one. And make sure that everything, the repercussions, the reason why your payment plan is the way it is, the timeline, everything is fully outlined in that client agreement. This is something that I teach to my one-on-one clients. This is also something that I teach in my course, the Fully Booked Formula. You want to make sure that all of that is very clearly outlined, and don't be afraid to get an attorney for your business. So if you find that there's someone who owes you a lot of money because of the fact that they just severed a contract out of the blue, you can take that contract and you can send a legal notice. You can create a separate agreement with a severance agreement for that specific document. It doesn't need to be something that you only handle on your own. And in fact, if you want to grow and scale a business, you want to make sure that you are presenting yourself with the role of a CEO. And I want to kind of circle back here to the beginning of this episode as well, because I'm also talking about, in my title and in my description, I'm talking about how to rise above all of the noise. And so one of the biggest ways to rise above all of the noise is to really take your business seriously. And if we are to break that down, one is definitely not enabling this type of behavior and not enabling victimhood. But the other part of this as well is rising above the entitlement. And so what can you do in your business that so many people aren't willing to do? right? If the entry line for business is something that's just so easy for so many people to get into, and they feel like they need, a lot of them feel like they need to be given things on a silver platter, how can you then go above and beyond and actually create real relationships with your potential community rather than, sending that super easy cold DM that you see so often on social media that is 100% focused on that person trying to sell to you. And it just feels like the most inauthentic thing in the world. And it's a really lazy way of doing marketing. How can you rise above that? How can you create systems and how can you engage in your community where you're not doing that because you don't have to be doing that, because you understand that in order for you to create a successful, profitable, and scalable business, you're not going to be doing the easy stuff. You're not going to be taking the easy way out. You're not going to be playing victim. You're going to be assuming personal responsibility, and you're going to be going above and beyond for your community. So that's another way of really rising above, is just going the extra mile and doing things that other people aren't willing to do. And I would also argue that going the extra mile and doing things that other people aren't willing to do also goes into all of the boundaries that we were talking about in terms of saying no, in terms of calling people out when they're trying to get out of an agreement, in terms of putting down strict boundaries in terms of like how many people you're going to be helping on a daily basis and what type of content you're going to restrict for your one-on-one clients or your paying clients, and what type of content that you're going to be giving away for free. I will leave you with this. Success really is reserved for the people who are willing and ready to do whatever it takes, which also means that we need to be willing and ready to completely rewrite our script and rethink the previous identities that other people have wanted us to have. And once we can do that, once we can rewrite our script and rewrite that identity and really show up as that version of ourselves who is so empowered and is so confident in what they are doing, we will never be compared to that version of entitlement. Thank you so much for listening. This was a little bit more of a controversial episode, which I love because I absolutely love empowering women to make better decisions for themselves. Hurt people will always try to hurt people. So people who are feeling hurt will always attack other people and other people's character. But the exact opposite is also true. Empowered people, and in specific empowered women empower women. So the more that you can claim that empowerment, the more that you can make an actual difference with everything that you're doing and get paid for it. All right. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments about this episode, or if you have like anything that you want to talk to me about at all, you can find me on my Instagram account. It's Sarah J. Loureiro. So Sarah without an H, J, and then Loureiro. And if you enjoyed this episode and if you feel like this is so on point, please share it, because I know that there are so many people who need to hear it. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Hey, did you like or love this episode? If so, I would so appreciate it if you left a review and rated this episode on iTunes. It would literally mean so much to me. And if you have Instagram and are all up in your Instagram stories like I am, I would love it if you would share this episode with your beautiful followers so they can also get all of the high vibes, all of the free information that I'm giving you here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. If you enjoy our show and would like the show notes and free goodies about how to grow your online coaching business, head over to sarahjlorero.com for more information. We hope you'll tune in next time.